All right, Summer. So, starting with your artist statement, I think you have a lot of good information here, but I'm going to kind of edit it on screen and you can take what you want. I don't think you want to say you started the project with the intention of capturing the innocence of children if that's not what you end up doing, right? So, I would just start with children tend to light up a room to make you smile and tend to light up a room to make you smile and make you feel young. Children truly are the future. Sometimes we see our younger selves in them, and sometimes we look at them with excitement with what is to come. As a child, you can't wait to drive, to vote, to be on your own. And then when you get older, you realize how you should have stopped and appreciated youth for what it was, pure joy and innocence. I decided to take the subjects out of their original backgrounds. I don't know if we need to know that. Place them in a fine art studio. I decided to maybe just put them on a fine art background. You can, obviously, this isn't what you're going to have. Put them on a fine art background in a fine art studio environment. Put them in a fine art studio environment to show the natural beauty and innocence of each child. Some are fun, some are silly, some are adorable, but all of them are exactly what being a child is all about. I think you could stop there. So I don't think you need to talk about the objects and how that went. This is what, and then the one thing that stayed consistent through this project is that in every image captured their true personality and true younger self, which is the younger self in all of us. Is that every image captured? Okay. I hope this project, I really want you to take out these like, I hope, I wish, and just sound like this is what my project did. This project should, or this project is even should or is intended. Doesn't sound as strong as I would like it to. I guess the intent of this project is to bring you joy and happiness, and most of all, bring out the inner child in yourself. We want to play, dress up. We all want to play and dress up. We just get more reserved as an adult. Have a tea party, wear too much makeup, dance in the rain, find the beauty of your inner child and show the world. So I think taking away that idea that you're not confident, that you hope, and then not making it about the specifics of the shoot, but just what your project is, cleaning that up a little bit. But the meat of what you have there, I know you struggled with, or I think you told me that you struggled with writing an artist statement. I think it's looking good here. The content that we want is here. All right, now looking at your images, you have all these new images that are great to see. And I think your project is really coming together. How many images do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. So you have 10 right now, and I know you're shooting more, but probably more than that, even editing more. And I think they're all coming together well. There's a few things that I noticed when I looked at these closer. So like on this image, the selection here looks a little bit strange, like it's kind of bumpy on her forehead and it's a little shadowed there. See, there are just a few of these that I wanted to point out why I have it on my mind. Here, this like halo around her, if you can bring that down at all, I think that would be better. Oops. And if you can't do that, maybe you just don't have as dark of a background or you fade into a darker background. I might also adjust the selection on this edge here, feather it a little bit more, modify it a little bit more, because it looks a little too sharp. This I noticed just on the edge of her eye there. So these are just little things that hopefully you can do quick fixes on. Actually, now that I'm looking at this, it looks like there's some spotting up there. That's a little bit strange. And then the apple in this one just doesn't have a natural look to it. So that's another one that I would adjust. I'm not sure about her hand right here. It looks a little bit funky. That looks good. Okay, so those are just some little edits. Little edits are easy for me to say, right? You're the one that has to do them. But then looking at it as a full series, it's coming together so well. I'm so excited about this. And even I think your order's looking good, looking at your portfolio. I'll look at that larger in a second. But there is this like loss of innocence that comes through in these as well. And I wonder if that's something that you want to address in your artist statement, especially like the image of her with the fan looking over the fan. There's like a question of a loss of innocence there. And I think that is something that needs to be addressed in your writing, or you just need to really think about it so you have a way to talk about that. Now, looking at your book, it looks like you decided on a square book. And when you have this square format, it forces you to adjust your images, right? So, for example, this image that we were just talking about, you're cropping in on it. You have a horizontal image that you're cropping into a square. Or the couch image, I think you have a little bit more in the image, maybe not, just on top, yeah. So you're cropping in there, and I actually think that the negative space above her is really important. It just seems that you're cropping in on a lot of your images, so I would avoid doing that. I don't think you want to crop into your images, and maybe that means you need to have a horizontal portfolio instead of a square portfolio. I think that would fit your images better, and then you're not losing any of the detail in your images because you've worked really hard on these. You haven't just quickly put these together, right? You've spent so much time. So why, after you've spent all that time, do you want to crop in and have square images when you've composed them as horizontal or vertical images? I really want you to consider that. And then I think more of your images deserve their own page. So again, if we look at this, we have this image, which I just think is like the most outstanding image you've created, one of your first images, and that for sure deserves its own page. I think the bubble gum could deserve its own page as well. And each of these could deserve their own page. So don't be afraid to have a page that's blank, like on the opposite side. That's fine to do sometimes. You can have a spread that goes across, and just give them space, give them room to breathe. You don't have to push them all together. Having the three or the two tea party next to each other, that makes sense to have together. And then having this as the next image, that makes sense. That's really good ordering there that you have. Pairing these two together makes sense because they're both more playful, but I think they're both strong enough to stand alone, and you might lose the impact of them when you're pairing them up so directly. So I would just keep working with this, and we can meet one-on-one and go over it more, but keep working with this as far as how you want to set it up, and give your images the value that they deserve, their own page if they deserve that. And don't crop into them when you've spent a lot of time composing them with this space around them. So great series. I'm thrilled about the improvements or the additional images that we have. I think they're all fitting in here well. And this play that you have between the serious images, the serious image, and then these playful images, I think that back and forth reminds us that this is fun, and this is about childhood and exploring the innocence of childhood.